Believe it or not, my story is real. I prefer to remain anonymous, as this happened to me 2 years ago. It was almost 3 in the morning. I was nearing the end of my shift, already imagining the coffee I'd make when I got home. But then my phone buzzed. One last notification. I was about to leave until that moment. It was a ride request. A woman. The address was near the cemetery. The payment? 3 times the usual fare. How could I resist? Just one more, I thought. One more ride, and then I'll go home. I've been a rideshare driver for 3 years. I've seen it all. Drunk sleeping, couple fights, people forgetting wallets and disappearing into the dark. But what happened that night? None of my shifts had prepared me for that. I arrived at the location. She was there in the dark, alone, her eyes wide open, looking around as if she were running away. But from who? From what? When I stopped the car, she got in. She didn't say a word. She just looked at me and spoke in a cold voice. Drive. Now. Something inside me told me to cancel the ride. An internal warning, a knot in my stomach. But I didn't cancel. I just drove off. The street was deserted. The silence was suffocating. Only the sound of the tires on the asphalt. I glanced at the rearview mirror from time to time. She was there, motionless, her eyes wide open, as if something was about to happen. The GPS took a while to load. When it finally appeared, a cold sensation ran through me. There was no destination, just an endless circle. I swallowed hard. I think we're going in circles, I said, already feeling the fear rising in my throat. Don't question, just follow. The atmosphere in the car became even denser. A weight, as if the air was growing thicker. My breathing became heavier. The sound of the asphalt seemed farther away. That's when the car began to malfunction. I lost power. The engine sputtered, and the car slowed against my will. The woman leaned forward, and I could almost smell her, a strange odor in the air. If you stop, it will come in. What did she mean by that? My eyes were glued to the road, but an odd sensation washed over me, as if something was approaching. I froze. The sound, a long, growing scratch. It climbed up the trunk, hitting the ceiling, as if someone or something was trying to get in. The car was dying. The engine, the brakes, everything failing. The silence became total, and then the air grew cold. My breath condensed, as if something was drawing near. A rotten smell like decay. My heart was beating so loudly I thought she or it might hear. I turned to look at the woman. She was no longer there. The back seat was empty, but the seat was sunken, as if someone had just gotten up. My phone blinked. The ride was complete, but the passenger's name? Nothing. Just a notification with 5 stars and the payment. At that moment, I knew something happened that night, something I would never understand. And more than that, no one would believe the story of just any driver. Since then, I never accepted strange rides. But the app still sends me notifications. Always in the early morning. And the fare? Always the same. Too high to ignore. The address? Always the same. Near the cemetery. I've never accepted any of them. But every time my phone vibrates, I look. And then, I turn it off.